This is TWiT.
One of Shannon's favorite products at CES 2018, NVIDIA's big format gaming display initiative, where they were showing off the 65-inch G-Sync panels. Oh my goodness, HDR enabled, 65-inch 4K, 120 hertz panels with NVIDIA G-Sync, variable refresh rate tech to keep your gameplay smooth, and a built-in NVIDIA Shield TV set-top box. You know, it's not just a 65-inch television. It's a 65-inch television optimized to be extraordinary for gaming and kids. It's got a shield built in. 1000 nit peak luminance, which is a big deal in the world of HDR, although Sony had that smackdown with their technology demo that was running a full HDR compliant 10,000 nits. DCI-P3 color gamuts. It's interesting, but essentially it's like, you know, it's a high quality 4K HDR television that's been optimized for gaming, and it's been interesting to watch. Dell announced a couple of HDR monitors. Lenovo, the new Carbon X1s had the Carbon and the Yoga X1 all had HDR-ish or Dolby Vision compatible monitors. Lenovo announced a couple of new laptops, the Carbon X1 and the Yoga X1, which had Dolby Vision compatible sort of HDR compliant monitors. Although technically they weren't, had enough nits to really hit the HDR spec. But if you're looking for a better Netflix experience on the road, that would be pretty fantastic. This is interesting. Did they have any sort of, I know ASUS is going to offer one of these, the PG65. Did anybody talk about what pricing from ASUS or ACER or HP would be for one of these monitors? I'm thinking it's going to be expensive.
When we asked them about pricing, their reply was more or less, well, there are 65-inch 4K screens of this capability already. It would be silly for us to be significantly more expensive than that, Okay. So. But keeping in mind that this is not a shipping product until late summer, probably puts that a lot in flux. So whether or not, like, if we look at today's pricing for a 65-inch 4K capable screen, with 120 hertz refresh, versus what that price will be in July or August, will be very different. And whether or not they stick to that, I'm a little torn on this. I fundamentally, I love the idea. Obviously, this is not something you can just put on your desk that you sit in front of. It doesn't make any sense for that. Even if you wanted to be like this totally immersed gamer, when you go to do web browsing, it might be a little bit unnerving to have PC perspective or tech thing or TWiT, full screen in front of you at that size. So this is really aimed at somebody who has like a gaming cave, or somebody who is going to game in front of their TV and has a configuration that really works for that. Because if you look at that picture, that kind of stylized picture at the top, it basically looks like a TV on a desk and you're sitting at the desk, which is just not a feasible way to use this product. No.
It'd be like watching a tennis match standing next to the tennis court. Sounds great until you realize you're going and then getting sniped you're like watching a tennis match with snipers shooting at you. Bad, I guess, would be a highly technical term for it. Unpleasant.
Yep. I also think that this is clearly a response to they wanted to have this in TVs. When we first heard of G-Sync, we were talking about, will we have this in TVs? It's been a long time since G-Sync was released. It doesn't seem like any of the standard TV manufacturers wanted to be involved with it, I guess. And so they went with ACER, ASUS, HP, PC-centric companies used to making displays like monitors, not TVs. So now you got a question like, what kind of TV functionality is this going to have? When I asked, like, how many HDMI ports are you going to have? No answer. How many, other connectivity options are you going to have? The OSD is going to be like a monitor OSD still. There's some other kind of oddities with it. Again, we're very early, so I can't say for sure, but the Shield TV integration seem very hacked on. Like there's there's a very short HDMI cable running from the back of the device into the input on the TV, right? Clearly the Shield TV is physically in the device, in the chassis of the TV, but it's just there's an HDMI output and then an HDMI input into the TV, as opposed to it kind of being routed inside. That could change between now and the summer, but it seemed a little hacked together there. I mean, they even didn't have an internal power supply yet, so it's still pretty early in it. Also, they have some work to do on the backlighting. It has why is blank on this? The term for a subdivided backlight for HDR screens. Local dimming. Alan's sitting here next to me to correct me.
Local dimming.
The problem is when you had an all black screen and you had a mouse cursor go across it, like a tiny mouse cursor, a significant portion of those segments would be illuminated. They'd be brighter, higher brightness than the surrounding section, even where the mouse wasn't, right? So because a mouse cursor is so small relative to those individual sections, it seemed like it might be a problem that somebody's going to have to figure out as well. So I'm still really excited for it. I love the idea of a large format or a big format gaming display. I need them to get this right and not screw it up. Otherwise, I think it'll set the whole idea back too far.